Good afternoon, students. So we have completed the emotional EMF. We were doing few questions, correct? We were doing some questions on that. So a small topic, okay? Not topic, or you can say just a small heading. Like we have to calculate a power in this emotional EMF. That is alone is left in this, okay? So we will see that. We will look into that with the small example, and then that emotional EMF will be completely finished, right? So if any student is having any doubt till here, okay, he or she may ask now. If any student is having any doubt here, okay, you can ask now. Okay, fine. If you're not having doubt, I'm moving forward then, right? Okay. So what is the next topic? Is it is like power transfer we have to calculate, or we have to calculate the power involved during the emotional EMF. Now, from where this power is coming and what is all about, okay? So we'll see using that, this emotional EMF, okay? So don't worry, we'll understand it. So now, let us try to see this topic. Now, suppose if there is a, first of all, let me write down the heading for this. So it is power transfer, okay? Motional EMF under the external force and power transfer. So motional EMF due to external force, okay? External force will be there, and power transfer. Okay, power transfer. So this is the heading. So due to that external force, how much power has been transferred, okay, to the system, that is what our aim is to calculate. And more things we'll see. Other than this, we'll see a few more extra things in this, okay, which may be useful for you in exam. Now let us see this. That suppose if we have rail, okay, that rail. I told you that topic is very important. That illustration is important, okay. When I started that, then only I told you that it is very important. So now see here, this is a rail, and this side of the rail has some resistance, or this complete rail is having a resistance. You can assume it like that. Now we have a rod. Okay. This is the rod. AB is the rod. R is the resistance in the rail or in the system. Complete system is having a resistance R, and so that I have shown you in this figure. Length of the rod is L, mass of the rod is M, and the magnetic field, okay, the magnetic field is cross. Magnetic field in the region is cross. I hope it is clear. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes. Now, an external force F, is applied on this rod. An external force is applied on this rod. Okay. So now what will happen? I want you people to write in the chat. Okay, I want you people to write in the chat that what will happen if I apply an external force on this rod. If I apply an external force on this rod, okay, so what is going to happen? I want you people to write in the chat. Yes. Do it fast. We have to complete this today. The rod will move in the direction of force. EMF generates, rod moves. Okay, fine. So now see here, at a time t is equals to 0, at a time t is equals to 0, okay, when the rod is under external force, okay. So at time t is equals to 0, what actually we are doing is force F is applied, external force. External force is applied. Okay, external force is applied. Now, because this is a force, okay, because this is a force, okay, will it have a constant velocity, okay, or will it have a changing velocity? Will it have a constant velocity or will it have a changing velocity? The question is, see, because you're applying a force on it, because you're applying a force on it, so will this be a accelerated motion or will it be a uniform motion? Yes. Will it be a accelerated motion or will it be a uniform motion? Sanjit and Nagaraj. Okay, Gautam, Ganesh. Okay. Only few people are replying, right? Sanjit, Nagaraju, Gautam, Ganesh. Only 4 people have replied. And how many are here? 50. So out of 50, only 4 have replied to this. If you apply a force, okay, so you will have a uniform motion or you will have an accelerated motion. I'm only asking this thing. If you have a force on this, so this will be an accelerated motion, okay. The rod will start accelerating, okay. The rod will start accelerating. So under external force, if external force is applied, the rod starts accelerating. The rod starts acceleration, okay, accelerating, and attains, okay, a velocity, attains a velocity, instantaneous velocity, okay. I can say it as instantaneous, attains the instantaneous velocity, instantaneous velocity, okay. At any instant, the velocity is supposed. Is it okay? Now, what is the EMF induced? What is the EMF induced? EMF induced will be what? EMF induced will be what? At that instant, yes, when the velocity is v, okay, so that time I'm asking you, EMF induced will be what at that instant? Yes, will it be B L V? Yes, this is my first equation. All of you agree to this? Yes, it's correct. So EMF induced when the acceleration of the when the velocity of the rod is v, at that instant the EMF induced will be BLV. What will be the current in the circuit? R is the resistance. If R is the resistance, can you tell me the current in the circuit? Yes, current in the circuit. Come on. Current in the circuit. Yes, I value. R is the resistance. R is the resistance. Current in the circuit will be what? BLV by R. Capital R. Okay. Capital R. This is the second equation. Now, if current is flowing in this rod, just see here. The current is flowing in this rod. Because of this motion, current will flow in this rod. So what will be the direction of the current? Yes. What will be the direction of current over here? Will it be downward? Yes. What will be the direction of current? What will be the direction of current? A to B or P to Q? Yes. Opposite to the direction of magnetic field. How the current, okay, how the current will be opposite to the direction of magnetic field? How the current will be opposite to the direction of magnetic field? Yes. How the current will be opposite to the direction of magnetic field? Can you tell me this? The current will be in upward direction. The current will be in upward direction. Okay. The current will be in upward direction. In this way. The current will be in this way. Okay. Fine. Now, if there is a current, okay, what will be, if there is a current, okay, so what will be the direction of magnetic force? What will be the direction of magnetic force if the current is in upward direction? If the current is in upward direction, what will be the direction of magnetic force? Magnetic force, just check it once again. Don't do it wrong. Apply right hand palm rule. Current is flowing upward. Current is flowing upward. Current is flowing. I'm asking you the direction of magnetic force. I'm not asking you the direction of magnetic field. Magnetic force, I'm not asking you. How it can be anti-clockwise? How it can be anti-clockwise? I'm asking you the direction of magnetic force. Use right hand palm rule. Okay. I got one answer from Tara. Correct. Nagaraju, along x-axis, positive, negative. Positive, negative. Use right hand palm rule. Right hand palm rule. Use right hand palm rule. Use right hand palm rule, dear. I'm asking force, not current. Current already I have shown you, Ganesh. I'm asking you force, magnetic force. How will you give the magnetic force? Negative x-axis, negative x-axis, negative x-axis, negative x-axis. Okay, negative x-axis. Anybody is having any doubt in this? Is there anyone who is having any doubt in this? Yes. Is there anyone who is having any kind of doubt in this? I'm asking again, if there is anyone who is having any doubt, you ask again. The current is in upward direction using right hand Fleming's rule. Okay. FBI you have to use over here. Okay. The force, external force is in rightward direction. Okay. Magnetic field is inward. Just see where you are getting the current value. FBI. Whatever you are having in left hand rule, the same you have to use in the right hand. Okay. The Fleming's right hand rule gives you the induced current direction. Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule gives you the current in the gives the direction of induced current. Okay. So using that, if you check, so the current will be in upward direction. Fine. Now, if current is upward direction, use right hand palm rule to get the direction of magnetic force. So it will become in the negative x-axis, okay. So the magnetic force value, okay, magnetic force value, magnetic force Fm, okay, magnetic force Fm will be BIL. This is my third relation. This is our third relation. Okay. Now, can you tell me the acceleration value over here? Can you tell me the acceleration of the rod? Acceleration of the rod, can anyone tell me? Yes. Will it be F net divided by mass? Yes. F net. F net. What is net force? What is the net force on the rod? Just check. What is the net force on the rod? F minus Fm. F minus Fm. Just see here. F minus Fm is the net force. Correct? What are the forces acting on the rod? What are the forces acting on the rod? Is it only Fm or it is F also? Yes. So what is the net force over here? F minus Fm. F minus Fm. So F minus Fm divided by mass of the rod is m, suppose. Okay. Now if I'm simplifying this, so I can write this as F minus Fm value is BIL divided by m. Now I'm substituting I value. Just see here, I'm substituting I value in this relation. I'm substituting I value over here. Okay. So just see what I'm going to get. If I substitute I value, what I'll get? F minus B. I value is what? BLV by R. This is I value into L divided by M. If you solve this relation, if I solve this relation of acceleration, so what I'm getting? Am I getting FR minus B square, okay, L square V divided by MR? Am I getting this value? Are we getting this value? Now what I can write this equal to? Now what I can write this equal to? dV by dt. Yeah, okay. This is the acceleration. Okay, this is the acceleration. Now just see here. If I want to suppose here I ask a question. Suppose I ask a question to you here. That tell me the velocity as a function of time, because with the time it is changing. With the time it is changing. As the time passes, because you have applied a force on it. So what is happening? The velocity is changing with time. So now if I ask you, tell me the value of velocity with respect to time. Can you tell me that? How many of you can do that? Yes, how many of you can do that? If I ask you, what is the velocity as a function of time? Any idea of that? See here, dV by dt I have got. dV by dt I have got. If I integrate this, if I integrate it like this, FR minus B square L square V is equals to dt by mr. If I integrate on both the side, I will get velocity. Okay, I will get velocity as a function of time. Is it okay? You have to just integrate it. How the integration will be done, I have already told you. I have already told you how the integration would be carried out. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do all those things over here. Is it okay? I'm not going to do all those things again over here. Is it fine? Yes. Are you getting what I'm trying to tell you here? Are you getting what I'm trying to tell you over here? Yes. Okay. So suppose V value, okay, velocity is V. Velocity you have found out and its value is V. So this equation is 4. In terms of velocity, we will calculate. Okay. I'm assuming that all of you can do this calculation. I'm assuming that all of you are well equipped with the concepts and whatever thing is required, and you can do this integration fine. And so I'm leaving it now up to you to solve as velocity. Okay. Now, what is power? What is power delivered by the external agent? Power delivered. Power delivered by external agent. Power delivered by external agent. Yes. If there is a force, see here, what is the external agent doing? What is the external agent doing? What is the external agent doing? Yes, the external agent is trying to pull this rod. So I want this mechanical work. This is not an electric work. This is a mechanical work, dear. This is a mechanical work. This is not any, what do you say, electrical work. This is a mechanical work. We are referring here a mechanical work because the external agent is applying a mechanical energy. So we have to calculate that work, mechanical work. So how do you calculate a work? Okay, when force and velocity is known to you. So force into velocity. What is the force that that person is applying? What is the force that person is applying? Okay, into V, into V. Okay, so velocity and force I have to calculate now. So let us see, this is our which equation? Fifth equation. This is my fifth equation. Is it okay? Now, just try to listen one thing. Okay. Up to here, anybody is having any doubt? Up to here, is there anyone who is having any doubt? Just tell me if there is anyone who is having any doubt. Because from now, I have to little bit go like deviate from here, and I have to tell you a different concept. Then I can move further. I have to tell you a different concept, then only I can proceed here. Because I have to calculate the force value. Sir, power FV cos theta? No. FV only. F into V only. Force into velocity only. When the force applied, when the body is applied with the force, okay, and the body moves with the velocity V. Okay, so at that instant, I can write F into V. Okay, force into velocity is the formula that you would have studied in which chapter? You would have studied in power, I guess. In power itself, you would have studied work, power, energy. Okay, class 11th, you have studied this formula. Okay, so with this formula, there is nothing wrong. With this formula, nothing is wrong. Okay, cos theta, the force applied and the velocity are in the same direction. I can use FV. No need of writing cos theta over there. Understood, Ashok? Because they both are in the same direction, so the angle will be 0. So cos theta is 1 only. So I have written it as F into V. Is it fine? Yes, Ashok? Okay, fine. Now just tell me one thing over here. Have you studied about the terminal velocity in fluid? Have you studied about the terminal velocity in the fluid? How many of you can recall it? Because I have to take over there. I have to take you over there. Terminal velocity. Have you studied about the terminal velocity, some kind of thing? Or anybody who can, yes, recall that, yes, I have studied terminal velocity, but I don't remember what it is. That is also fine. But I want all those people, okay, answering in the chat who have studied or who can recall that, yes, you have studied a terminal velocity. Something was there in this fluid chapter. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so you are talking about the Stokes. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me? Okay, fine, no problem. If you don't remember, no problem. That is why I'll tell you now. See, what is terminal velocity? Suppose if you drop a stone or if you drop a ball inside a vertical column of a liquid, what is terminal velocity? I'm explaining you. Okay. What happens when you drop a stone in a vertical column of a liquid? What happens to it practically? That up to a particular distance, what happens? The buoyancy force decreases its velocity. The buoyancy force decreases its velocity. And initially, buoyancy force and gravity force. Listen again. This is very important concept. When you drop a stone in a vertical column of a liquid, suppose in a sea if you're dropping. So what happens as the stone goes down, or the ball goes down, okay, initially gravity force and this force, buoyancy force, they are not balanced. Gravity force dominates. That's why the ball is going downward. Is it okay? Now, after some time, what happens? That the buoyancy force increases and gravity force decreases, is the same. So what happens? Gravity force and buoyancy force becomes equal at a particular time. After a particular time, what happens? Buoyancy force and gravity force becomes equal. And when they become equal, the velocity becomes constant. Correct? Can you recall it now? Can you all recall it now? The terminal speed is the speed when the buoyancy force and the gravity force on the ball or the stone dropped in a liquid column becomes same. And at that time, the acceleration on the ball is 0. So that is equilibrium. Understood? That is terminal speed of the ball. Now here also I am trying to correlate that thing. What will happen over here? As this rod moves in this direction, okay, what happens? This magnetic force and this force applied becomes equal. Okay, these two forces become equal, and when they become equal, what happens? The velocity will be constant. So what I'm saying, the terminal speed or the steady state velocity will be achieved when Fm is equals to F external, that such that F net becomes 0. Correct. Okay. In that case, velocity will be constant. Understood? In that case, velocity will be constant. Did you understand this point now? Okay. So if you have understood that point, so I can directly write it now. Okay, little bit I'll write so that you, when you read it or when you refer this thing, you can recall everything. So terminal speed, okay, or we can say steady state velocity, or steady state velocity, okay, is attained. Steady state velocity is attained. No, terminal speed will not be 0. No, it will go down. Okay. There is no force. Initially, it was moving. Okay, it was initially moving. So when the F net is 0, so it will move with the constant velocity. It cannot be 0. So the terminal velocity speed or steady state velocity is attained. Then F external will be equal to Fm, and we know that Fm is equals to BIL. This implies, okay, F external is equals to what? BIL. This is my 6th equation. Can all of you understand this point? Okay, fine. So now I can calculate power. So power will be what? BIL into velocity. Now, what is the value of velocity? or you do one thing, you just substitute the value of I. You just substitute this value of I. We will just substitute this value of I. Okay. We'll just substitute this value of I over here. I value, will just substitute it over here. So what I'm getting, B square L square V is square, we will get. And divided by R. Okay, divided by R. So this is the power delivered. This is the power delivered. Is it okay? This is the power delivered. Is there anyone who is having any kind of doubt in this now? Is there anyone who is having any doubt? I have substituted the value of I over here. I have substituted the value of I over here and I have got this value of power. Is there anyone who is having any kind of doubt in this now? Any kind of doubt in the calculation of power? Yes? Okay, fine, good. Now, if I want to ask you, okay, can you calculate power as a function of time? If I ask you what is power as a function of time, what will you do? If I ask you power as a function of time, okay, so this is for all those who are aiming for JEE. This question up to here, it is there in NCERT book also. If you read NCERT, you will find this calculation. Okay, it is just that they have not given enough explanation of why they are equating F external and FM. They have not given enough explanation on this. So that's why I took it like elaborated did this. But up to this point, you have in NCERT also. Okay, so this is for everyone. Now, the next what I'm going to ask, it is for all those people who are aiming for JEE. Okay. Shall I take it or shall I leave that thing? It's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to go a little bit higher, like around JEE means, because a small thing will do it. Okay, fine. Now what my question is if I want to calculate power as a function of time. If I want to calculate my power as a function of time, what will I do? What will I do if I want to calculate power as a function of time? Yes. So now the question arises, can I use this concept in that case? Can I use this concept in that case? The concept of terminal velocity, can I use in that case? No, I will not be able to use it. I will not be able to use the concept of terminal speed if I'm asked to calculate power as a function of time. Why? Because you are fixing it. You are fixing that up to a certain interval, velocity becomes constant. But you have to calculate as a function of time. So you cannot do this. So you have to come back to this equation. You have to come back to this equation. And you have to calculate velocity. You have to calculate velocity over here. Okay. And simply power will be given as F into V. You just integrate velocity and get the value of velocity and substitute in this equation. Leave power as it is. Leave power as it is. Understood? Leave the power as this force. Leave the force as it is. Just calculate velocity and put it over here. That's it. What you have to do. Nothing extra you have to do. Nothing extra is required to do. Keep the force like this. Keep the force in power is equals to force into velocity. Velocity is already a function of time. So you just substitute that velocity as a function of time. Keep force as it is. You will get the value. That is what you have to do. You cannot use the concept of terminal velocity over there. Why? Because at the terminal velocity, velocity is not any function of time. Velocity is not a function of time once a terminal velocity is reached. Understood? So that's why for power as a function of time, you don't have to use the concept of terminal velocity. This is the only difference you have to use. And this is the place where a student make mistake. Understood? So how will you calculate the power as a function of time? I square RT you cannot use here. I square RT you cannot use here. That's the electrical energy. That's the electrical energy, dear. That's the electrical energy. I square RT is a I square RT is the external energy. Okay. I square R is the external energy. That's why we are using mechanical power. Na? See, you will pull it on your own. You will pull it by the force. Na? This is the mechanical force na, you will apply. This is the mechanical force you will be applying over here. Okay. So work done in terms, can we use work done? Work done again. Okay. So work done in terms. Work done itself is a unknown quantity. Work done itself is an unknown quantity. Na? See here, when you have calculated the power, when you have calculated the power over here, so you see here, magnetic field is known to me, length of the rod is known to me, resistance is given to me. The only thing, velocity is not known. The only thing, the velocity is not known. So what you will do for that, you will use this. You just integrate and get the value of velocity. So this value only will go over here. This value will only come here. Okay. This value will only come over here. Is it fine? This value of velocity will be only written over here. So everything is known. Velocity was not known, so that you have calculated here. You have calculated over here. That's it. Is it fine then? Have you all understood this concept? Just see this everything once again, and if you have any doubt, you can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask in this. This motional EMF is completed now. This motional EMF is completed now. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Now we can have a doubt clearing session. If you have any doubt, you can ask here. Okay, self-inductance is a topic that I will start from tomorrow, not today. I will start this from tomorrow. Self-inductance is the topic that we will start. Okay, that I have to start, that I'll start from tomorrow. Still we have 15 and 5, 20 minutes. So if you have any kind of doubt, okay, regarding this complete motional EMF, you can ask now. Yes. Hey, you are worried about the next week portion only or what? This complete chapter. This complete chapter will be your next week portion. Okay? This complete chapter will be the next week portion. Focus on what is going on. Don't worry about the next. Okay, by the way, how was your exam? Sunday's exam, how did you do? Yes? Sunday exam, how did you do? Somewhat tough. Always the people are saying it is somewhat tough. Huh? It was not tough. It was not tough. I just now I told you, this week NEET portion is complete EMI. Complete EMI. Okay? Complete EMI. Complete EMI will be this week's portion. Yes, for this week only. Complete electromagnetic induction. All questions are from previous questions. Okay, okay. All the questions are from previous year. Okay. Fine. Is there anyone who is having the question paper? I have to check whether I have it with me or not. Let me just check. We will discuss the question paper if I'm having with me. If you have any doubt, you can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, I guess I have it. Wait a minute. I have it in my mail. I'll show you the slides afterwards. Wait a minute. Okay. So here is the NEET paper. Okay, fine. Any question that you want to be discussed? Any question that you want me to discuss? Come on. Anybody is there who want me to discuss any particular question? Yes. Is there anyone who want me to discuss any particular question? Which question is that? 28. Okay, what I'll do, good questions, I will only take. Okay. Now see this question, this question over here. In the circuit shown here, okay, we have C1 6 microfarad, C2 3 microfarad, and the battery is there. Okay, we have a battery of 20 volt. The switch S1 is first closed. It is then opened, and afterwards S2 is closed. What is the charge on C2? Now in this case, what will happen? First, when I close this switch, when I first close this switch, what will happen? This C1 capacitor gets charged. So how much of charge it will attain? So Q1 will be given as C1 into V. So what is that? 120 microcoulomb. This is the charge attained by C1. Now what you are doing, you are removing this, okay, you are opening this again and you are closing it now. Now when this C1 and C2 are connected, what will happen? When they are connected, the charge will get transferred. Okay, the charge gets transferred, and till what position or till what time the charge will get transferred is when the potential of 2 and the potential across 1 becomes constant. Okay, when the potential becomes the same. Okay, well, until and unless the charges will transfer from C1 to C2, until and unless they attain a common potential. Is it fine? Is it fine? Okay. Now, once they attain a common potential, so what will happen? Total charge will be equal to Q1 plus Q2. Q1 plus Q2. Okay. Now, what is Q net? Q net is what? Total charge. Okay. Total charge. So, how can I calculate the total charge? So I can calculate total charge as C net or C equivalent, better be right. C equivalent into V common potential is equals to C1, okay, V1 plus C2 V2. Now V2 is 0, so this term becomes 0. Now I have to calculate what? Common potential I can find out from here. I can calculate common potential. So C1 value is what? C1 into V1 I have already calculated. It's 120. Okay, divided by C equivalent. C equivalent for this is what? 9. So this is the common potential. And once I calculate the common potential, I can calculate the charge. Is it fine? Is it fine? The common potential if I get, so what I will do it now, that 120 by 9 into 3 will be the charge on C2. On C1, the final charge will be 120 by 9 into 6. These many amount of charges will be stored on both the charges finally. Okay. Sir, energy Initially and finally are not equal. Please check one. The total energy will be conserved, no? Yes. If you see, yeah, loss will be there. Loss will be there. Okay. Loss is there. Half CV square loss will be there. Half CV square loss will be there. Okay. So don't calculate. This is the correct way. This is the correct way, dear. This is the only correct way. Okay. Now just see the next question. The second question is easy. The second question is easy. I'm leaving that. Okay. Direct equation you had to calculate. Okay. That was easy. Third equation is also easy. The third question is also easy. A hollow conducting sphere. A hollow conducting sphere is there. Okay. It's of radius r. It's of radius r. Okay. Has a charge plus q on its surface. On its surface plus q charge is given. What is the electric potential within the sphere at a distance r by 3? So at this distance, what is the electric potential? So now let me tell you that the electric potential within the body, okay, the electric potential within the body is same as that of the surface. Okay, electric potential within the body is same as that of the surface if we are having a hollow cylinder. If we are having a hollow cylinder, so electric potential within the surface is same as that of the surface. Okay, so you can go with option D. So that's very easy sum. Question number 4. You can use C is equals to epsilon naught A by D. Okay, so what it is saying? Okay, K is also there. Dielectric constant. So dielectric constant is doubled. Okay, and distance between the parallel plate is half. So D by 2. So 2 goes up. So this becomes 4 K epsilon naught A by D. So it becomes 4 times. So C dash becomes 4 times of C. Okay. So increases by 4 times. Yes. Question number 5. All of you were able to solve. Question number 5. All of you were able to solve. Question number 5. Were you all able to solve? Shall I leave this sum? Or anybody is there who wants me to solve this question? Is there anyone who wants me to solve this question? For the last time asking, is there anyone who wants me to solve this question? Okay, I hope all of you have done this one. Mobility, it was also direct formula based. Okay, this was also a direct formula based question. So I'm leaving that also. Question number 7. See, this is the aluminum strip. If we had a insulator, then only it will polarize. Okay, since it's a aluminum, okay, so it remains unchanged. It's a metal. Now, this question number 8. At a certain distance from a point charge, the electric field is 500. 500 is the electric field into L is equals to voltage. Voltage they have given me as 3000. Now they're asking me L distance. So it will be 3000 divided by 500. So it's very easy. 6 meters. Answer is 6 meters. Question number 9 is also easy only. Question number 9 is also easy. Yes. See, I'm asking you, if any question you want me to explain or you want me to solve, you just stop me in between and ask it. Okay. Don't hesitate. Okay. Don't worry. I will not take your name also. If you are hesitating on that, I won't take your name also. You just don't sit simply. If you want, you just stop me there. I won't take your name if you are afraid of that. But ask if you are having any kind of doubt. So question number 9, a 2 mega electron volt proton is moving perpendicular to a uniform magnetic field of 2.5 Tesla. The force on the proton is, it's very easy problem. Yes. First, you have to calculate the velocity because the velocity is not given. See, we have to calculate force, how to approach, to build the approach. Initially, I will not get an idea. I will not get an idea that I have to apply this relation of kinetic energy. So what I have to do? QVB. Okay. Now, I see that the magnetic force is given to me. I know the value of charge, but I don't know velocity. So from where will I get the velocity? The energy is given to me. 2 MeV. Now, what is 2 MeV? That's a kinetic energy. Yes, that's a kinetic energy. So half mass of proton into velocity of proton is equals to 2 into 10 to the power 6 mega. So 6 electron, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 90. So this much energy is given. Now mass of proton I know. Okay. Can I calculate the velocity? Yes, I can do. So velocity you can calculate from here. You can substitute that velocity over here and calculate force value. Okay, so this is how you have to write it. Initially, you will not have an idea that you have to apply this formula directly. Okay, you have to start in this way only. You have to start in this way only. Okay. Now, 10 electrons are equally spaced and fixed around the circle of radius r relative to V is equals to 0 at infinity. The electrostatic potential V and the electric field E at the center R. Anybody is having any doubt in this question? Is there anyone who is having any kind of doubt in this question? Yes? Is there anyone who is having any kind of doubt in this question? Yes or no? Shall I move ahead? Okay, please explain. Okay, fine. Just see here. See, this is a circle. So 10 electrons are equally spaced. One over here, one over here. So 10 electrons you have to space equally. So like that. So like this, you have to put 10 electrons. Okay, I don't know how many I have put, but it should be 10. Okay, you just count it and make it 10. Equally spaced. Now at infinity, the potential is 0. At infinity, the potential is 0. Now you just tell me one thing. If this is a circle, can I take this as an imaginary hollow sphere? Sorry, a ring. Imaginary ring, can I take it? Yes. Imaginary ring, can I take it? Not a sphere, a ring, I can take it. Yes, I can take. Now, they are asking me at this center, what is the electric field? Now, if this is equally spaced, that means this is symmetric or non-symmetric. If it is equally spaced, see here, equally spaced. If it is equally spaced, can I say this is symmetric figure? Yes or no? Symmetric. So if it is symmetric, so the electric field, if I keep a, if I keep a small charge, a small test positive charge, okay, so this is one electron over here. So this test charge will be attracted like this. Now this electron on opposite side will attract it like this. The net field becomes what? The net field becomes what? 0. Yes or no? The net field becomes 0 or not? Yes, it becomes 0. So this option and this option cannot be our answer. Option B and option C cannot be our answers. Is it fine? Okay. Now, if infinity is the zero potential, so if you have to take a charge from infinity, if you have to bring a charge from infinity to a point at the center, will you do a work or not? Yes. Will you do a work or not? Work would have not been done if there would have been some positive and some negative charge. Now here all are negative or all are positive. In both the cases, you have to do the work. But if the system is arranged like that, equal number of positive and equal number of negative, or equal potential due to positive, equal potential due to negative is generated at the center. So they cancel out each other and the potential becomes zero. But here all are electrons, and because all are electrons, so the potential will be developed over there. So you, to bring that charge and put it at the center, you have to do a work. Can you understand this point? Yes? Can you understand this point over here now? See one thing, that suppose if I bring two charge, I have two charge, one is plus Q, one is minus Q. Now at this center, at the center of the line joining them, the potential will be what? Due to this, it will be a positive potential. Due to this, it will be a negative potential. So net potential will be what? Zero. Net potential will be what? Zero. To bring a charge from infinity at this point, now you don't have to do any work because the potential is fixed. But because if the potential is both due to positive charges or it is both negative charges, you will have a potential because they are not cancelling each other. So now to bring a charge from infinity, okay, either at this point or at this point, you are supposed to do some work. So I can say potential is not zero. So now see for an option where field is zero, potential is non-zero. Option A is correct. Is it fine? Did you understand this now? Okay, fine. Now question number 11, which is not true for the equipotential surface for a uniform electric field. So uniform electric field can be only of one shape. This is the shape of uniform electric field. And for a uniform electric field, we always have a equipotential surfaces drawn like this. We always have a surface which is perpendicular to the field. Okay. So spherical surfaces are not there. So equipotential surfaces for a uniform field is not spherical. It's flat. It's like a plane perpendicular to the field. Okay. So option A is correct. Okay. As per the question, which is not true. Not true. Read the question properly. Okay. Read the question properly. It's asking not true. So this is not true. Work done is zero. Correct. On equipotential surface, potential is same. You are not required to do any kind of work. Equipotential surface is flat. Correct. Electric lines are perpendicular to the equipotential surfaces. Correct. So only option A is correct for this question. Okay. So with this, I'm ending this session. Okay. Tomorrow we will start self-inductance. Okay. Then again, I'm telling you that self-inductance and mutual inductance, okay, are a hot topic always. Okay. From this chapter, either they will ask motional EMF or they will ask self-inductance or mutual inductance. Okay. In self-inductance and mutual inductance, we have to again study something about solenoid or coil. Okay. So don't miss the class. I see so many absentees today. I don't know why, but today there are so many absentees. Okay, so tell your friends that tomorrow, okay, if they are missing the class, they won't understand the subsequent coming classes. Understood? Because tomorrow's class is full of concept. We have to be very patient. Okay, then only the things will be understood. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start with the self-inductance. Okay, thank you.